Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. NFL Insider provides bad George Pickens Steelers update. Wide receiver George Pickens has been a lightning rod for controversy since arriving with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2022. That doesn't appear to be changing as Pickens is set to enter the final year of his rookie contract. If anything, it's getting worse. Pundits have reported and speculated about a potential split between the Steelers and Pickens this offseason. Publicly, the two sides have done what they can to dispute those rumblings. Bleacher Report's James Palmer added fuel to that fire Sunday, though, with a report that things are not going well between Pickens and the Steelers. His time in Pittsburgh, in a lot of people's minds, is limited, Palmer said, via Steelers Depot's Ross McCorkle. It has not gone well behind the scenes at all between George Pickens and the Pittsburgh Steelers or everybody involved. Could he play for them in 2025? Certainly could. Would he be departing after the season? Yes, in a lot of people's minds. The Steelers acquired veteran wideout DK Metcalf for a second-round pick this offseason. Immediately after trading for Metcalf, the Steelers signed him to a 4-year, $132 million contract. It's unlikely the Steelers will offer Pickens a big contract as well. It's not clear if that's the issue between Pickens and the Steelers, but that's certainly a possibility. The Steelers are in an awkward spot with Pickens. As previously stated, they likely don't want to extend him a new deal right now because of the Metcalf acquisition. But trading him before the 2025 season isn't ideal either. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler explained why on Sunday Morning SportsCenter. Keep in mind, the Steelers are in a position where they need to keep that receiver room as attractive as possible for that man you saw at the Kentucky Derby, Aaron Rodgers, not yet signed, Fowler said, via Bleacher Report's Joseph Zucker. So, they're not really in the business of trading off capable pieces right now that he could potentially be throwing to. Fowler added that trade negotiations the Steelers have engaged in with other teams involving Pickens have really cooled. The ESPN insider also said Pickens does want to stay in Pittsburgh and wants to make this work. It's not completely clear if Pickens wants to make this work for just 2025 or in the long term as well. On some level, the reports from Palmer and Fowler contradict each other. However, Palmer did state that Pickens could very well play for the Steelers in 2025. What Fowler said Sunday seems to be pointing in that direction too. Obviously, the Steelers didn't trade Pickens for a 2025 NFL draft pick. If Pittsburgh was going to move on from the receiver this offseason, getting something in return either in the 2025 draft or the receiver room would have been ideal. Should the Steelers now move Pickens before the 2025 season, they will be back to where they were last year with only one truly capable receiver. Calvin Austin III emerged with the opportunity during 2024, but he's likely best served in a number 3 role going forward. And again, moving on from Pickens now could hurt Pittsburgh's chances of signing Aaron Rodgers. But it could be a very different situation for the Steelers at the NFL trade deadline. If they fall out of the race early, it would be wise for Pittsburgh to deal any players on expiring contracts who have value. Very likely, Pickens would possess the most value of any Pittsburgh player. Some teams might be wary of acquiring him at the deadline because the Steelers fleeced the Chicago Bears in the Chase Claypool trade 3 years ago. But Pickens is more talented than Claypool and probably won't cost a second-round pick on an expiring contract. Trading Pickens to the highest bidder at the deadline for a pick would give the Steelers more 2026 draft capital. That capital could help Pittsburgh draft a franchise quarterback next offseason. Green Bay Packers fans overjoyed by report of Steelers' Ireland opponent. For months, the Green Bay Packers were rumored to be the opponent the Pittsburgh Steelers would host for their September home game in Dublin, Ireland. There were some interesting storylines that led to this belief, not the least of which is the fact that Green Bay boasts the only Irish-born player in the NFL, punter Daniel Whelan. The rumor, though, was not well received by Packers fans. As fans are quick to point out, Green Bay has not exactly played well in each of their last two international games. In 2022, the Packers fell to the New York Giants in London, England, and then quarterback Aaron Rodgers broke his thumb. Last season, Green Bay was defeated by the Philadelphia Eagles in São Paulo, Brazil, and current starting quarterback Jordan Love sprained his MCL on the field's questionable turf. It stands to reason, then, that Packers fans were excited to hear that Green Bay is not believed to be the Steelers' opponent in Ireland. On Sunday evening, Andrew Filipponi, a sports talk radio show host in Pittsburgh, posted on X, formerly Twitter, that the Steelers will be facing the Minnesota Vikings in Dublin, Ireland, not the Packers. As alluded to previously, Green Bay's fans were thrilled with this development. Granted, the likelihood of the Packers traveling to Ireland to play the Steelers decreased dramatically when news broke that Rodgers, their former quarterback, is interested in signing with Pittsburgh. There is absolutely no way that the NFL would risk the future Pro Football Hall of Famer's first, and maybe only, game against his former team being played on foreign soil. This does mean, though, that the Packers will be traveling to play the Steelers in Pittsburgh this year, a place in which they have not won since 1970, Bart Starr's last year as Green Bay's starting quarterback. Pittsburgh Steelers urged to sign Nick Chubb in controversial steal. The Pittsburgh Steelers have yet to solidify their future at the quarterback position. Fans hope to find some clarity at this point in the offseason, but barring an Aaron Rodgers signing, Pittsburgh will roll with Mason Rudolph. It is a frustrating reality given the receiving potency this offense possesses with DK Metcalf and George Pickens both in the fold, for now. However, the lone positive here for the Steelers rests in their identity sprouting from the ground game instead. Pittsburgh averaged 127.4 rushing yards per game last season, a mark just outside the league's top 10. Arthur Smith's style gives the Steelers' offense, still lacking a franchise play caller, something to lean on. They doubled down on this commitment in the draft, selecting Iowa running back Caleb Johnson in the third round. As of now, Johnson and veteran ball carrier Jaylen Warren will be splitting the load out of the Steelers' backfield. But could they use one more addition to make this group even more formidable? Former Cleveland Browns running back Nick Chubb remains unsigned after the two major periods of talent acquisition in the offseason. Kurt Popejoy of Steelers Wire suggests the team add him to bolster the backfield. Chubb is working hard to make a comeback and if he's healthy, would be the most talented running back on the roster. Pittsburgh is committed to running the football in 2025 and Chubb, along with Jaylen Warren and Caleb Johnson, would make a formidable trio. Chubb has shared videos of himself in the gym this offseason, grinding away to impress a potential team. Thus far, there is no real buzz to him signing anywhere. If he gets his next shot, it may come in the form of a secondary or tertiary option. As to expect much more would make for controversy. With this group and in this system in Pittsburgh, there's at least some merit to the idea of him shining in such a role. If not, the Steelers have a pair of solid backs more than capable of handling their share to power this offense. And you fan? What do you think about Nick Chubb's situation? Write to us in the comments.